Good morning, everyone. Welcome and thank you so much for having me. So we're going to start. We're running a little bit late, so I'm going to try to resume the most important factors. And I have a presentation. And please, if you have any questions, I'm sure at the end we're going to have a session for Q&A. That's correct. All right. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking that here we have a mix of people that are already on their business, that they recently got a business, or that they are actually thinking about it. If you are, that is awesome. I would be very proud of all the people here that are thinking, already have taken that decision, because as it shows there, small business ownership can be one of the most self-satisfying and rewarding things you can do. It's not easy. It can be stressful sometimes as well. Let me just move to this side. But it is awesome. It's actually, and if you do it right, you can get a piece of the American dream. Actually, you will have ownership of your own time, and you will also be the one in charge of your financial destiny. So here today, what we are going to talk about is, if you are going to start that journey, and this is for the people actually that haven't started the journey yet, but they are thinking about it, and they're starting to ask the questions about where do I start? What it would be the very first thing to do, and what are the resources that I have to use? So, and this is a list of questions, most likely, and even like if you need to use the services of a professional. So as you know, I'm representing Luxury Realty, so I'm a licensed real estate professional. We do residential and commercial. And I'm going to start from the bottom with the last two questions, because then it's going to make sense what we're going to talk about in the very first stop. Professional services when it comes to a commercial real estate is very highly recommended. I cannot address this enough. It is extremely important that you use the services of people that are expert in the area. We actually, as business brokers, we have access to data and to information and to businesses that you don't have access to. We do, because we are licensed. By having that license, we have access to that information. And one of the very things that I say, I mean, if you're talking about putting all the money that you have saved in the last 10, 20 years of your life working, if you are actually going to make that move to stop being an employee and actually think about being your own boss, a business owner, you need to make sure you take the right steps. And one of them is be involved and surrounded by professional people that are expert in this. One of the best things is that our services are totally free, because the sellers are the ones that pay our commission. So you as a buyer, you are going to use the services of a professional that is going to provide you with all this information at no cost for you. It's going to be a cost for the seller, but not for you. So if you can have access to that information and get the advices and have somebody working with you, next to you for free, why wouldn't you? So that's one of the myths that a lot of people think, that using a professional is going to be more expensive for you. Think about it as an investment on most of the times. For the real estate side, it's totally free. But then the other team that you need to be surrounded with is a CPA and an attorney. Those they do charge you for. And the fees will depend on the type of business that you are actually thinking of buying. But it's totally worth it, because once again, you are putting in risk the entire future, not only about you, but your family as well. So it is totally worth it and highly recommended. You have to be also careful. I'm going to talk about the positive and the negative as well. So as I mentioned to you, us as business brokers, we're going to get paid anyway. By the seller, we're going to get paid anyway. As long as you buy a business, we're going to get paid. Unfortunately, there is a lot of people out there that they only care about you buying a business. They don't care if it's a good one for you or not, or if it's a good match for you or not. So use your common sense. And also, even though you're working with an expert, do your own research. Educate yourself about the type of business that you want to start or the type of industry that you want to start, because it's important that you identify the ethic and the good intentions of those professionals to help you. As attorneys and CPAs, they do a different type of work because they do get paid by you, but the work is more than numbers. It's more to go in depth about the business, how the business that you're trying to buy runs. But as a professional in real estate, a lot of people, they might not care what you're buying and where they're gonna get paid. So be careful with that. And here are some of the services that you're gonna get from a business broker. So one of the things is we're gonna first sit down with you and go through your needs. What are your goals? What are your plans? What is your experience? Actually, we're going to even ask you about degrees. What have you worked in the past? What is your passion? And we emphasize on that because a lot of people, they go to school and they end up working, or their passion might be something different. When you're gonna open your own business, when you're gonna be an entrepreneur, you need to make sure that you actually really love what you're gonna do. Because having a business and owning a business is not easy, it's not for everyone. So that's why if you're here, I'm proud of you because you have that entrepreneur mindset, your drive to do something that is challenging but very rewarding as well. And you have to be passionate about it. You have to know about the type of industry that you want to get involved. So we are going to search and get to know all those things about you so we can guide you better and actually create a criteria for you. Then we're going to have those sources to research for those opportunities that are a match with your criteria. So like I said, you guys don't have access to that unless you are a licensed real estate or business broker. So why it's important that we have access to that? So a seller is not going to put up a sign, most likely, for a business for sale. And the reason is, and it's just a human thing, employees for that business, as soon as they will find out that business is for sale, they're gonna leave. They're gonna go and find another job, they're gonna think the business is gonna close very soon, they're gonna lose all their motivation, they're gonna think that whoever is gonna be the new owner is gonna bring their own people to work with, and they're gonna fire them all. So actually it will create or jeopardize very badly the environment of work. So those sellers or those people that are thinking of selling their business, they're not going to publish the sale. It's going to be either a factor of word of mouth, or they're going to hire a business broker to list their business for sale, and they're going to only list it in those websites where we have access to. So the public won't have access, their employees won't find out about it, their competition is not going to find out about that they're selling the business. We are going to have access to that. So that will give you more opportunities to know about the type of businesses that are out there for sale and that you might want to take a look into. We're going to prepare a detailed report about pricing, the type of industry, if the seller is giving any type of financing, or if the business is already being approved for financing by a bank. We're going to prepare a letter of intent. So that letter of intent is going to come after we already set up an interview with you and the seller. Most likely it's going to be after hours of operation because the employees they cannot know about it, or you have to actually play customer. You have to play the visit in anonymous. They cannot know anything about it, but that will give you the opportunity to take a glance of the operation. And if you want to go ahead and you think that will be a good match for you, we can prepare a letter of intent, which will be kind of like an offer in a residential transaction. So we put that, and one of the very things that is extremely important, that whoever you're working with, you need to make sure that in that letter of intent, you ask for a period of time for due diligence, and you're gonna listen to that a lot. Due diligence is extremely important. That will be the period of time that you're gonna have to search deeply about that business And that will actually let you know if you want to go ahead and buy it or not. If you don't have that contingency in the letter of intent, you're going to be forced to buy it. Or you can retract yourself, but then you're going to lose the deposit that you gave. So with that due diligence, usually it's about 15 days. It will depend on how complex the business is. And that's when you hire a CPA and an attorney to go through it. So at that moment, our services as professional business brokers, it will be more like a communicator or a facilitator, or making sure that whatever your CPA and an attorney is asking for from the seller, the realtor that is representing the seller is going to actually provide it. So we're going to step back at that point, because of course we're going to let the experts do their job, which it will be the accounting and all the legal side of the business. And if we respond within those 15 days and say you have basically 3 options, you're not going to go ahead and buy the business because your attorney, your CPA told you this is fishy, it has so many negative things, it's not convenient for you to buy this business. If you let them know, we send a cancellation notice before the due diligence or on the day that the due diligence is due, we're good. If you decide to go ahead and buy the business, then we just go for closing. Or you can still negotiate either the price or for more information, or for the seller to fix several things before you actually buy the business. So that due diligence, that intent, letter of intent, it's very important there. We're going to negotiate those terms and conditions based on the due diligence period, and assist in the closing process. A lot of business brokers, they don't work with their customers to the closing table. And that's very a shame. We all should do that. It's our duty, it's our responsibility, and you should demand it. If you find yourself working with a business broker that is not going to go with you to the closing table, ask for it. They are getting their commission, they need to do their job all the way through. You have no idea how many times a transaction falls through at the table on the closing day. And if you don't have right there your expert, the person that is backing you up and that is negotiating for you, you're going to find yourself abandoned, basically, totally lost. And it has been loss of time and loss of money. So, what type of business should I buy? That will be one of the main questions, right? Okay, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to have my own business. How do I know what type of business is good for me? Unfortunately, stats show that 90% of small businesses close within the first 2 years of being open because of lack of knowledge and involvement. I have seen, I don't know if you have, but I have seen several, actually, by the complex where I work at, there are some restaurants downstairs, and there has been the last 4 years 3 different food restaurants, actually food businesses open in the same spot. 4 years, 3 of them. So unfortunately, if you think about having your own business, and you can find a very great deal, maybe, I don't know, Latin restaurant that the sale price is awesome and the return of investment, the ROI, it's great, and great profit every year, but you have no idea about food and beverage. You have never worked in a restaurant place. The most that you have done is eat and drink, but you don't know anything about it. That's not the right type of business for you, even if it's a great deal, even if it leaves you a ton of money, because you're going to have 90% of the chances that within 2 years you're going to be closed. Unless you have enough money to hire experts that are going to train you and help you getting involved and getting knowledgeable about that type of industry. Because you cannot start a business when the employees knows more about you, more about the business than you, that they know how to run your business better than you, the managers or whoever are working or running the business. So you have to, it's up to you. We can give you the tools so you can find the businesses that are out there available for you. A CPA and an attorney can give you advices about it, but after closing, it's really up to you as a business owner on how far you want to take that business. If you're going to educate yourself, if you're going to get involved, you have no idea how many times I have sit down with clients that they tell me, I want to buy a business, I want I want a great price, I want great profit annually, I wanted to actually get back my investment very fast, but I don't want to be involved with it. I don't want to go, I just want to hire a manager, and I would just want to go there once in a while, get my money back, and that's it. It's very difficult to represent people like that at the end. We actually don't even like it. Sometimes we even tell them that I might not be a good fit for you, because I don't want that person later on, when it's 90%, it's in that statistics right there, that is because we sold them a bad business. We didn't. So that is very important. And the other question would be, talking about what type of business should I buy, should be a new or an existing already operating business, or what about franchise? So there is a big difference between one and the other. New business. So as a new business owner, there are actually more challenges, and it can be even more expensive, and it's more risky. So the difference, of course, and we highly recommend more an already operating business, and the main reason is because you already have done most of the homework for you. You don't have to start from zero. Yes, you're going to still have your business plan, and you still need to be ready and evaluate and analyze and study a bunch of factors that I'm going to talk about, like location and like other expenses and costs and whatnot. But you already have a history to base your comparison, and you already have a database that has been built. You have a clientele that business already has. You already have the location. That business has already worked and put in play a bunch of marketing efforts that now you don't have to. When you are a business owner of a brand new business, most of your money has to go in marketing. You have to let people know that you exist, that now you open, that you are here. How are they going to know that you're here? So budget for marketing is way higher in a brand new business than an existing or operating business already. So we do highly recommend, and it depends on your budget, it depends on what you want to do, and a lot of people, like I have a client that she wants to open, it's a totally different type of business that they are integrating yoga, reading, and tea. So something like that doesn't exist for her to buy an already operating business. So well, she's up for the challenge. We have to do an extremely and very carefully business plan to make sure that she's going to be having that business in the right place, with the right market around that area and whatnot. But I had a client also that he actually had 2 daycares. And the very first one, he started brand new. He started buying the land, building, contractors, construction for a whole year, inspections, health, DCF, fire department and whatnot, whole year of that. Then marketing, letting all the neighborhood. It was great. I mean, it was the only daycare in that area. So actually, he was up for a great success, but he needed to invest a lot of money. Second one, he bought already operating. He was traumatized with it. So actually he got bald, no hair whatsoever after the first one. So he bought already an operating one. It was easy. He already picked it up when he was already giving profit, not as much as he was expecting. And that's another thing. You can find a business that has a great potential for you to take it even further. That doesn't mean that you're gonna. What are the chances that a business owner is going to sell a business that is making him $1 million? If you're making a ton of money, you're not going to sell that business. So you're going to find cases where it's divorce, death, disease, or they're extremely tired. We have a client that they have been owners of a Latin restaurant in Hunters Creek area for a long time. Over 15 years, and you know, food and beverage is every day, and it really can get you. So after 15 years, they're really making good money, but they're tired. They actually want to just rather become an employee again than being there every day, 7 times a week, every day of the year. So you're going to find those cases where you're not going to have to think what is wrong with the business. So why are they selling it? They're selling it because maybe it's not doing good. You're going to find cases that they might be doing good, they're done. or they have to for some reasons, personal reasons. But definitely that's something that you need to consider with new and existing. It's really, really big the difference between one and another, and mostly with your budget. Franchise. So I was an owner of a franchise. I have my own experience with it. It wasn't great. It's good in some senses, the same thing. They help you out with the marketing because they already have a brand, they already have a name, there are people that are going to already recognize you for. They help you with the marketing material stuff, and they even help you negotiating the business if you're dealing with a landlord, or they even help you picking the location. They do all this research about the demographics and the market around it. But you are tied to their regulations or limitations, in the sense of when we started in the business, you needed to promote your products. Buy one, get one free. I don't know, give you a discount, employee discount of the mall. It was actually at the Florida Mall. It was in the food court, and they didn't let you. They didn't let you because if they allow you to do a buy one get one free, they will have to have all the stores of the franchise do the same type of promotion, because they have to have the same thing among all of them. So you were totally limited. If I noticed that we have here 10 months of summer, or 11 and a half of summer, and I wanted to offer something refreshed, like ice cream, lemonade, something, no, you couldn't. So it takes actually a good effort to be able to grow fast with that franchise. So you have to be careful also with the royalties. Do you know what royalties are? So franchise charge a royalty. It's a percentage of your sales every month, just so you can have your name. So a lot of franchises, they charge a small fee at the very beginning when you're going to buy the franchise, but the royalties are pretty high, or vice versa. So be careful with that, because at the very beginning, as a new owner, that can be pretty difficult. So how do I put a value on a business? How do you know how much a business is worth? Actually, a business is worth only whatever someone is willing to pay. There are very important things to take in consideration. If this is not like a residential transaction where there's going to be an appraiser saying, this is what this business worth for, unless you're buying real estate, like unless you're buying a building. But if you're buying a business, it's going to depend on the profit that business is making. How fast are you going to get back your return of the investment that you made, and how much are you going to get paid by yourself? So I have actually an exercise, and I know I'm running out of time. And I wanted to talk to you also about the skeletons. Be careful, but I just want to jump in to give you this example about, if we look at this over here, business category, asking price, gross annual, and your actual profit. That would be your net. This is gross, that is net to the owner. So one of the things that you need to look into is, how much are you going to invest? How much money are you going to get back every year, and how many years that will mean that you're going to get this money back. Average is 2 to 3 years. Anything less than that is awesome. Anything less than that is awesome. So, for example, if I look into this, I have this auto sales and this convenience store that, look at this, this is only $65,000, and in a year, it leaves me already 44. So that means that in 1.2 years, I'm gonna get my investment back. That might not be the right business for me, if maybe I'm not familiar with this type of industry. Maybe I'm not willing. Convenience store is one of the industries that people, actually owners, get stolen the most, because they manage a lot of cash in the convenience stores, gas stations. So you have to be either working all the time there, or having your people, family members that you really trust, or you have to be on top of that pretty much all the time. But even these auto sales, $199 and it leaves $160. That doesn't mean that's real. And another thing, and I might close with this if I don't have more time, which is one of the skeletons, you're gonna find yourself talking to a seller that says, I made that 160 a year profit net, but I only can prove 90 of that because the rest was cash and I didn't report it. It's not in my tax claims. It's not in my bank statements because I was paying my employees under the table. And that, my friends, is very risky. You don't know. I mean, if they're lying to the IRS, most likely they're going to lie to you. So you have to be very, very, very careful with that because you might not find out ever if that's actually true until you buy that business and you realize you're not making 160 a year, you're only making 80 or 90. So be careful with that. You need to, a lot of businesses do it though. So if you stop yourself from buying it because they do it, it's going to take even a longer time for you to buy that business. But the important thing is that they at least can prove it with bank statements of where that cash was going to. That is let's see something. And how can I pay for the business? Do I have to buy a business in cash? Can I get a loan? I don't know. I'm not sure if we have a speaker that is going to talk about that. But actually, two ways: cash or loan. And on that example that I gave you, and that's something that we let our clients know, is sometimes the sellers are the ones that are going to finance part of the business. Sometimes the sellers are willing to do that. And banks as well. Most likely you're going to get a 5-year term, 10% interest rate. That's pretty much normal and common. But you have to be ready with an extremely great business plan for somebody to take a risk and invest in you. So anything else? Angie with Luxury Realty. I'm going to be talking about the importance of the location of your business after Rosa.
Excellent.
Thank you.